Welcome to Back Breaking News episode 330. Wow, 330 episode. And this is Cookie King 73. And today is the day you've all been waiting for. It not might be the day you've been waiting for, but it sure is mine. And a special announcement at the end of the video, so you should definitely watch all the way to the end. It's going to be about my new series, so let's get crack-a-lacking with the final question, hypothetical question, part 100, and now I'm done with this. So today's question is, would you take a job that gives you no time to live? So basically, here's my opinion on this. Would I take a job that gives me no time to live? So, the answer to this is no. Because I want a chance to retire. I want a chance to get to spend time with maybe kids in the future. I personally want them, but not anytime soon. But I want to eventually be able to retire one day and spend time with my family. No matter what that looks like. It was just me, a wife, and a dog. Me, a wife, and an adopted kid. And me and a wife. And a couple kids. It doesn't matter what that future looks like. But that's what I mean with family. Or even if it's just me. You know, I want to be able to enjoy my retirement. I don't want to be working till I'm like 90. Okay, I feel like that's reasonable. I think that's a very reasonable request, and honestly, that's the only reason why I would not take this. I don't want to take a job that gives me. It depends if it's something I love, though. If this gave me opportunity to teach history, maybe I would take it. But it's not like I want one day. I want to work somewhat in education, some way, somehow. That's my dream. I want to. Oh yeah, but I still would like time to do stuff. I still want to do this every once in a while too. This is also important to me because it gives me something to do. It gives me, importance. It just makes me feel good to be able to do this, talk about interesting topics that interest me, and find people that may be interested or may just, like hearing me yap about stuff. So a job that gives me an opportunity to still, share things. And that's also the reason why I never make things too political here on Back Breaking News. Even though it's called Back Breaking News, I don't like talking about politics that much. I don't talk about politics much, if not any. There might be one episode of Back Breaking News where I ever talked about politics. And I knew for a fact it was last year's election. And that's the only time where I thought maybe with this big debate that was going on, maybe I could put my opinion forth as someone who is not really Republican, not really Democrat. Someone in the complete middle of that. That's the only time when I think I really need to talk, when you need to hear a non-biased opinion, not from Fox News, not from CNN, not from anyone. Personally, in my opinion, there will be a backbreaking episode I hate the news. That I know for the future. But, okay. Ultimately, I would not want to take this job because it gives me no time to live, no time to do this. And no time to watch wrestling. You knew I was going to say that one. But this is all I have to say about this. So, remember what I told you last time? Where I'm going to tell you a few ideas I had for topics about the first season of the first 10 episodes. The first one, is going to be about wrestling, my love for wrestling. The other episode idea I had is which I'm also going to do for backbreaking news, but this one will be like 30 minutes, maybe an hour long. What would I do as U.S. president for 8 years? And go more into depth into explaining everything than I would in the backbreaking news episode, because I want to try to make them not too long, no more than maybe like 18 minutes, unless it's a special occasion. The third episode, you definitely know what that's going to be about, and that's going to be talking about every pay-per-view that happened this year. That will be happening in like sometime in January. The next episode will probably be about it will be about a more serious topic. Like this will this will also be about WWE, because I want the first season to be focused on some wrestling, some other stuff. But this will be the third episode of wrestling, and this episode would be about specifically, should Chris Benoit ever be in the Hall of Fame? If you don't know what he does, what he did, good for you. But it's common knowledge what he did. I will be focused on Chris Benoit and Owen Hart in that video. Very sad stories. And do I think it would be possible for them to be in the Hall of Fame as well? Owen Hart is more WWE's fault. Chris Benoit, I could say it's a mixture of his fault and WWE's, The fifth idea I had was like maybe just talking about what is my favorite, talking about some of my favorite things to do, or just talking about me. The next topic I thought of is maybe talking about my opinions on news stations and stuff as well. For let's talk about that episode. There's a few, and those are the ideas I have right now. But there probably will be more now. There's only 6. I said 6 ideas I have that I will be trying to make into a script. So, yeah, I'll be working on those scripts pretty much, probably from the time they come out to now. It's July 4th, so I want to try to get these done, not before September, but before the year. The only one I would have a trouble with is the third episode, because that I already decided would be about in January, and about WWE. I feel like these episodes, these are going to be like special things, something you have to look forward to. So these are going to come out either 2 a month, maybe even like 1 every 2 months. So don't expect them to come out every single day, because there's only 10 per season, and I want to make these special. Goodbye.